Hello, another video request. I love this request. How to solve the media divide in this country with no shared source of truth and where this will lead us, social media bubbles, etc. That is, oh my God, that's from a guy named Pat Conley. Damn, dude, that is a goddamn good request. That's, you know what? If I were to do a video, like you seriously read my mind. if I were to do a video like on my own without a request, that's the damn video I was gonna do. That's the exact video I was gonna do. Yeah, because that's a big problem, and I have the perfect example, the perfect solution for it. Okay, so how do you how do you how do you solve the media divide in this country with no shared source of truth and where this will lead us? Okay, I actually kind of don't agree with that. I think that there is a shared source of truth. It's called CNN and MSNBC. Those guys are truth. Fox News, mostly not truth. Tucker Carlson, lunatic. Sean Hannity, retarded lunatic. But you're pretty much good to go with CNN and MSNBC. However, CNN and MSNBC all obviously are Nazi fascists as well. I see my video yesterday how CNN did a video. They were calling Antifa the terrorist organization. They're not organization and they're not terrorists. So yeah, CNN and MSNBC are also way off into the world of the rich donor, close-minded asshole. So and then you have like, and I think independent media is good, like independent YouTube channels, like you have Young Turks, and then all the other like shows like them, like what's that kid, the young kid Brian Tyler Cohen or Johnson or whatever, does the like the clips of the people and then says, oh, it's stupid, and then interviews. And anyways, so yeah, where did that come from? Where's it gonna go? So yeah, I think there's lots going on here. Oh, what's this? My mom just sent me a text. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. My mom just sent me a text. She wants me to sell my car. Where did the media divide come from all of a sudden anyway? Well, I think one reason is that, one thing that's really interesting that happened is 10 years ago. I always grew up like a hippie. I always thought I fancied myself a hippie, even though other like East Coast hippies came out here, didn't think that I was like that, but like I'm like raised in Buddhist community, and my parent, multicultural and stuff, traveled, and so I was like a new ager, and I believed in the aliens, like 10 years ago, I'm uploading videos about aliens, conspiracy theories and aliens and all this kind of stuff, David Wilcock and all of his the people he talks to who know the secrets and stuff. But then you fast forward 10 years later, and the most puzzling thing happened. Instead of all of these like New Agers and stuff, I thought they were the hippies. Like I thought they were the left wingers, the people who believed in like socialism and Joe Biden and stuff like that. Were the people who believed in the aliens. But no, the alien people, they went off into the right. They were the right-wing people, and they turned into the Trump followers and David Wilcock himself. I saw this video, and he's saying that QAnon is the answer to all, and that Q has all the answers. And so then QAnon is, but then QAnon, those are the right-wing people who like Trump and think that it was all a sham. So like, wow, everything is just exploded, and nobody's listening to anybody, and nobody's communicating with anybody. It's like it reminds me of a situation I'm everybody's been in this situation. I've been in this situation a bunch of times where you're talking to somebody and you're explaining like a really cool concept, and you think you're awesome, and you think that they understand you, and they're looking at you like this, and you're like, oh wow, they're looking at me like they think I'm awesome. Oh, awesome. They think it's awesome. But it turns out that they thought you were fucking crazy, and they didn't understand a single goddamn thing that you were saying. And it's kind of like that. It's like It's like, or they took it completely differently. Like you're talking about aliens, and then they come back at you and they're like, yeah, the aliens are going to try to take over and kill everybody. Look at my gun. I'm going to shoot them. Oh my God. So, yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff is going on, which is causing all that. I think one of the things is social media taking over the news cycle. People getting their news off of Facebook instead of like the newspaper, right? Because the newspapers go out of circulation, and then if you want to keep reading the newspaper, you have to pay, right? Because they have to be able to pay their reporters and their writers, but people don't really want to pay, you know. Like before, maybe their website was free, or they were already getting the newspaper, but now they don't really want to pay, so they kind of just get their news off of Facebook, and they, everybody already had a tendency to kind of get their information off their friends anyway, and so now it's so much easier because you got the Facebook and you shouldn't avoid it. And then people just fall in. Yeah, and they all create their own little enclaves. And so that's what happened with the QAnon right-wing people. They live in their own alternate reality. And and but I think another thing that happened is they legalized weed. I think that does have a big part to do with it, because like I was always a stoner, but I was never like high all the time, because you just couldn't be high all the time because you'd run out of weed, and then it's like, where do I get the weed? And you never have the money because it's expensive. But then once it got legal, and and it became available in the stores, and then it got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and more affordable, and now it's so cheap, you can literally be high all the time. And like now even with the invention of these marijuana sticks, these little marijuana pins, like you don't even have to like hide under your jacket or something. You can just smoke it in the middle of a gale force wind and get high. So like people are just high all the time. Everybody's high all the time. And I think it has like an effect on your brain if it just slaps you upside the head all of a sudden, like when nobody's high ever, and then boom, overnight everybody's high all the time. Marijuana is well known to be a cause of a psychosis, and if everybody's doing it together and they're all in their social media enclave, they're all doing mass psychosis. And but I think that the weed will wear off. Like for about it's 2021, so has it been like 7 years already that I've been high all the time? And I've kind of been getting out of it. But when you're high all the time, you get really in touch with your your emotions and your like instincts and like your raw feelings that you really feel about things deep down. And I think people were always able to suppress that because of the social pressure or peer pressure. But then once you don't have any social and peer pressure to suppress your innermost thoughts and emotions, and instead of that, you actually have peer encouragement, because all those people can coagulate together at Facebook page groups and then express themselves to each other in their passionate, stoned out, passionate insanity. And then they just pump each other, and then they just, they all make each other crazy. And then when they get together, and they're together in like the thousands, then of course it becomes real. And it's like they've created their own parallel universe. And so all these people are running into the Capitol thinking that they're actually going to have a successful goddamn insurrection. Like the woman who got maced, she comes out and they're like, well, we took one step, and they maced me. And they're like, well, why did you take a step in? It's an insurrection, man. No, it's a revolution, man. It's a revolution. So, and the funny thing is I knew that was going to happen because Trump kept saying, he's like, oh, you don't want to mess with my followers. My followers are tough. They won't let it happen. And he's like, be there. It'll be wild, And it's crazy. So, I mean, it was crazy for me because I was expecting it. I was like, man, Trump, they're talking like are they going to storm the Capitol? Because that's what I was thinking before it even happened. I'm thinking to myself, are these fucking people going to try to storm the goddamn Capitol? Because that's what it seems like. And then they did. And I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. How do you break free from it? Well, I think that people should realize that we're not in a situation that's going to last forever. We're in a constant ebb and a flow, and we're in the middle of like an eddy turbulence right now. perfect storm situation. We're all bouncing into each other and spinning around due to the fact that Facebook has got their own little alternate reality going on, allowing any and every rich ass motherfucker to just pay money to create news stories. And then they get Newsmax, where rich people go in there to pay fake news stories. And even with Fox News and everything, brainwashing all the stupid people who only care about racism and abortion. So then you could just take all their money away from them because you tell them about what they want to hear about racism and abortion, and getting the Chinese and stuff. So yeah. So and then the weed, and then everything. So I mean, it's kind of like a time after time. I think people will just kind of start studying and become more and more interested. So, anyways, what's the solution? The solution is history. Because if you don't know what's true and you don't know what's not true, then you need to develop the ability to see something for what it is just at a glance. And if you have a knowledge in history, you can do that. For example, if you have a knowledge in history and you see you see Donald Trump up there going, the election, it's going to be stolen. It's going to be stolen. You go, oh right, I've seen that before. I've seen that a gazillion times in history where they just steal the election. I watch the news, so I see how they do that in third world countries. Oh, I see that. But if you're illiterate and you see that, you've never seen that anywhere else in third world countries because you don't study that stuff and you don't study history. So it's the very first time you've ever seen anybody say that. So instead of going, oh wow, I've seen that a bunch of times in third world countries, you go, oh my God, I've never seen that. I've never seen an American politician say that before. He's a badass. I bet you he's totally ripped. If he took his shirt off, he'd be totally ripped. I bet you he knows karate. Yeah, so it's like they I'm kind of losing my train of thought, man. I got high yesterday. I need to let the weed get out of my head. Yeah, so these illiterate people, they don't. It's like the first time they've ever seen it, and they think that it's awesome. Because they've noticed that the other politicians don't do it, but they don't realize the other politicians don't do it because those other politicians know that if they did it, they'd look like a third worlder, right? So it all depends on the ignorance of the people, Like if you study history, once we all change political systems based on how smart people are. If you have just a kingdom, it's because the king is better than everybody else, and he's the only person who's smart, and everybody just follows. But then other people become educated, and then you become an aristocracy, and then more people become educated, and they become a democracy. Like they invented the printing press, and then a few hundred years later, people became educated enough, and they needed to become their own self-governing country, America. And then it became that way in France, and then they became a democracy because the people became educated, and the people could communicate with each other. And so if you extrapolate that more and more, the more educated people are, the more democratic stuff has to become, and you have to change the rules with the democracy. For example, you would write into the Constitution, the president doesn't get to appoint Supreme Court judges anymore because the people are educated enough to just vote in the correct Supreme Court judge. And appointing judges, instead of people being appointing judges, you change it so that people actually vote. The people vote in the judges, and so it all revolves around history. You have to be a historian. And so how do you get out of the bad news cycle? You support history. You could even set up like a publicly funded, or maybe like a billionaire funded. I need to get on the internet, and I need to start internet emailing billionaires because I'm just about to run out of money. I pay $500 a month just in interest, and I only make like $1,700 a month. So I spend I might fall off the hill. I'm gonna have to sell my car. But I mean, if you have a situation where I am going to have to sell my car, but if you have a situation where oh man, I lost my goddamn train of thought again. Nobody is smart. I mean, if you have a situation where everybody is smart, then nobody can get away with being stupid. And so so you set up a system where you get like a rich person to actually pay people to talk about history. Like you turn people on to history. Like when you turn on YouTube, you want all the videos to be somebody talking about history, Like the way it is now, if you look at all the highest subscribed people, it's like people showing off their sports cars. You don't even know where they got their money. and it's some 20-year-old kid who's a multimillionaire, and he's like, and he claims to have made all the money himself. That's something that's really annoying. All these 20-year-old multimillionaires claim to have like started from scratch and made all their money themselves, and if they got a boost, nobody gets to know who. And I mean, you could totally tweak the algorithm so that, and also you could get some rich person to actually pay regular people to just talk about history books, and doing history tests. And then, so all the videos that come up and all the on the top of the searches are the history books. No more kids with the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, with the 3 million subscribers and the 50,000 hits with the 50,000 likes because he showed you how nice his new paint job on his Lamborghini is. Sometimes I feel like the people in charge they're tampering with the results. There's this black girl who, I saw some dude did a video. Some black girl was living in her van, a Volkswagen van, and she had one video. It was like a 3-minute long video, and it was like a little bit of like her drone flying over her van, like on the cliffs of California. But she already had 1 million subscribers. And so it's like all these people pop up, like their first video was a year ago, and now they've got 1 million subscribers. And what do they talk about? They just nothing, or how rich they are. And it's usually the people who are rich. And like yeah, and like with my website, I mean, if you go to my website, like if you go on Google Analytics, my website, Google Analytics says that nobody goes to my website. Like literally. Like one person in the entire planet will spend maybe 30 seconds on my website a month. That's like just as ridiculous as one person doing one video, and then they have 1 million subscribers. You know what I mean? It's like either or. You either have 3 million subscribers with a gazillions of likes and hits out of nowhere for being rich, or your huge website has zero hits ever. 0 hits ever, never. It's like, is that really believable? It doesn't seem like that makes a whole lot of sense. Because I've even asked friends to go on my website just to make sure. I was like, go on my website. I want to see if you show up on my website. They never show up. Never show up. So, so let's assume that happens. Let's assume there's some kind of deep state deal going on where the multi-gazillionaires own stock in Ferrari and Lamborghini and McLaren and Bugatti. And so they did a deal with the leader of YouTube so that the kids of the people who own the Lamborghinis and the Bugattis and anybody who buys one, those people automatically get 3 million hit subscribers. And you give them false hits even. And anybody who talks about history gets like demonetized, and and it shows, and like you take all of their likes and their hits away from them and make them look completely invisible, like beyond invisible. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we are now with YouTube. Like, I mean, I get comments, thank God, because it would creep me the fuck out. Like, and I've never had a comment on my vlog channel, and the comments are activated. They were deactivated for a bit because I made it for kids, but I got one comment in the entire life of my entire vlog channel, and it was from this motherfucker named Dale. He's like my number one troll, going, yeah, you're back at it again. What a loser. What a piece of shit. Nothing, nobody. And I go to his channel, and he's Mr. Invisible. No videos. He did tell me once, though, that he got paid $1,000 a month by the Navy, so maybe they're fucking paying him to troll me. I don't know what the fuck. But, so how do you fix this? You get some rich dude, or the government. But if we pay taxes on too much stuff, so if you're going to do another government program, you should probably kill some others in order to make room for another one, instead of all the way new government programs for more and more taxes. That's why we need to shut the goddamn fucking schools down. If you shut all the goddamn fucking schools down, whoops, I said cuss word. Those bastards. Because now when I upload the video, I'm going to have to say that I said a cuss word. Okay, mild cuss word. Sorry. But I'm mad. I'm angry. Oh shit, no, I forgot what I was talking about. you have all of the oh man, I lost what I was train of thought. So anyways, yeah, you need to have people being able to do videos talking about regular things and not being knocked you know oh yeah, oh yeah. So when you talk, when people, everybody needs to do videos. Any and everybody could do a video. So any and everybody needs to do a video talking about any and everything all the time. And don't worry about getting hits or making money. People with normal jobs should do that because people with normal jobs can learn and know things too. But we definitely need to try to set up a system where people don't have to have normal jobs so that they can have time to educate themselves. But the way that you do that, you relieve taxes. The way to do that is get rid of the schools and mainly the government, so that we don't spend so much. I mean, the military, so much government money on the military. With the F-35 program, which we never used, you could have housed all the homeless people in America 17 times over, and that's just one airplane. So yeah, get rid of the military, and then you can strengthen America by strengthening our reputation to the point that we look so awesome to everybody that everybody and their dog wants to come be American, and it's already like that. So make it even worse. Don't let anybody in unless they're like, unless they've accomplished something, but I guess you have to do the traditional school PhD thing, but let them, unless they make a website, make even a new rule. They make a website and a bunch of YouTube videos, and once they hit the ticker, yeah, then maybe they can get in line to immigrate here. But you just protect America, the defenses of the border, get rid of every single last one, including South Korea, every single last base around the world, to get rid of them. Like in my last video about religion, I said that the Catholic Church needed to sell all their holdings and move everything to Rome, and that's what America needs to do. We need to get rid of all of our extraneous like places out there, move them all. I mean, of the military bases, and move them and just fire all of the soldiers, and then rehire the soldiers as bike school people. People, 20-year-olds join the Army because they want to have fun. They want to be hardcore. You want to join the Navy SEALs because you want to be like a hardcore dude. So why don't you just pay that guy to do some Navy SEAL deal? Go ride your mountain bike fucking all day long. That's Navy SEAL-y. Do triathlons, and then come back home and do the video. So you need people do the video, and then that'll break people out of their little enclaves. The left and against the right. Like, I don't get that. I was talking about the Proud Boys versus the Antifa yesterday, and those guys are fighting each other. But, when they hear them chanting at each other, they hate each other. But then when you interview the leaders individually, the leaders say the same thing, that they hate the fascists in charge. So yeah, I think opening up. Obviously we can all do our own part, and the part that I'm going to do is I'm just going to stream the shit out of myself. I'm going to stream myself in my room, working out, and then doing videos. Eventually, hopefully I get a lot of request videos, and then I'll get a lot of my own videos. See, I can't do my own idea videos now because my video page on my website hasn't been updated, and I need to update it and take out the videos that got deleted, and then add videos that I want to do, and then make them like a certain color. So whenever I want to do a video, I just look and I go, okay, I feel like talking about that, and I just do the video. So it's a huge wide range of things that you can talk about. So just make the range of anything that anybody can talk about extremely wide. You can talk whenever you want. Anybody can talk about whatever they want, whenever they want, and that you would actually pay people to do it. You wouldn't monetize the video, because if everybody did it, nobody's going to make money making videos off their videos, because there's not enough people to watch the videos. The whole monetization of videos to make money off of YouTube, it's a flawed business plan, because it doesn't expect everybody to do it. By design, they have it so that only a very small fraction of people can make money, because you need all those other assholes to watch their videos to make them the money. But if you pay everybody to make videos, nobody has to have any watches, and you're only making the videos to prove to yourself, to the world, to whoever's judging you, like to give you the grant or the whatever, or the respect. Then they would just see that you do the videos, and you do the videos for those or whoever wants to watch, but not to get tons of hits and to get to make money off of it, because then you're discouraging all the other people. It's like back to like in video games. Like, why would you want people to stream video games? You're trying to make people watch video games. It's like with gambling. You know, you're not a great economist if you want to, if you think that you're awesome economist and really smart like Donald Trump by opening up a goddamn, oops, I did it again. By opening up a can I say godforsaken? A godforsaken gambling institution. So you basically want people to gamble? You're asking people to gamble. Isn't there more? But that's not healthy. Everybody knows that's not healthy. Read all the religious books from the past, from the Mahabharata to the Bible to the Quran to the Torah. Everybody says gambling's bad. Don't do gambling. Go out there. You should be out there having fun. Run in the sun. Climb a tree, man. Go swimming. You know, upload a video about history. Read a history book. But don't gamble. So yeah, somebody trying to do it. But that's the same thing. You think you're a great economist by opening up a bunch of like gambling all over the place? No, that's the same mentality as doing YouTube. You know, oh, make money off you. No, you don't make money off YouTube, off of the ads on YouTube. You make money from the government, from the taxes. They pay you to do it because you're being part of the society. And and so if everybody's talking, see, because the reason is the people who are in their little enclaves, they don't do videos because like they don't express themselves. That's why when they're out there and they're yelling at each other, because that's like the only time they've ever had a chance to express themselves, is that one time they get to vote, and then that one time they're out in the street like yelling at some person. And like me, I'm a YouTuber and I talk and I have a website where I have like, you know, get to express my creativity. So if I were to be out there in like a Antifa versus Proud Boys demonstration, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. But if I had to be in the middle and if I'm like standing on a side, I wouldn't even want to stand on a side, but if I had to choose a side, I'd choose Antifa, right? So I'm on Antifa. And somebody's yelling at me because I'm an Antifa, and he's spitting in my face, and he's yelling at me, fuck you. I'd be like, okay, and I'd just be watching him like, okay, like I'd be waiting until he stops yelling at me, and then I'd try to talk to him. You know what I mean? And then I would try to film it, right? And then I would upload, and I see they filming, and then I would upload the film onto YouTube. But like when I go to Antifa and I see all these people filming each other, I don't see their films on YouTube. They film each other to try to, as like just like a front, like a posing, like, oh, I'm filming you, you should be scared. They should be filming like I'm filming you because I'm putting on YouTube. But I go on YouTube and there's not that many Antifa versus Proud Boys videos up there. It was only like one person who uploaded the video, and then all the other people didn't bother to do it. They just filmed it and then put it on their hard drive to be lost to time somewhere, never to upload, just to be gone forever. So you held that phone up for nothing. So, because then if you hold the phone, you would actually talk to each other. But they're not talking to each other, they were yelling at each other. I mean, I saw one conversation where Antifa was filming a Proud Boy, and the Proud Boy had like a big machine gun. He's like, oh, we didn't know you guys were going to be here, whatever. But they only talked for like a couple. They didn't even have a conversation. And then there's some Antifa yelling at a bullhorn at a Proud Boy, and the bullhorn was covering up the Proud Boy's whole face. Okay? Now me, would I do that if I was Antifa? Would I come up to a Proud Boy with a bullhorn and cover their entire face and then scream in their face? Like what? Like, isn't that what fourth graders do? Like, if you really want somebody to listen to you, do a goddamn YouTube video. And then there's, oops, I said goddamn it. Do a Tarnation YouTube video, okay? With your Tarnation YouTube video in the name of all that is holy, then you should, then everybody would fall out of their shell because people would just be people. And then you would destroy people with facts. I mean, like somebody, like if you were talking to anybody who thinks that Trump didn't win the election, all you would have to do is destroy them with Socratic questioning. You could be like, okay, did Trump say that it was going to be rigged before the election even happened? Yeah. Okay, how would he know that? Because he knows things. What does he know? He knows this and he knows that. Oh yeah, he knows what? He reads Q because Q said, but I thought Q was, who is Q? The anonymous. Oh, so the anonymous people. If you're anonymous, then that's who everybody needs to listen to. You know, and then they would like second guess themselves, you know, like, and if somebody like me with the comments, get a crazy QAnon person, a Marjorie Taylor Greene, uploading videos and getting her comments all the time, she'll get knocked right back in shape. It's like a self-correcting system. So the only way people can stay in their little alcoves of insanity is because they're not listening to anybody, they're not uploading videos. So just upload a dang video is one. That's how individual people can help. But how rich people can help, somebody with the money strings, pay people to do videos and make YouTube websites and YouTubes and stuff. Like if you look at my website is barely functionable. Like probably the majority of the links don't work. The majority of my pages don't have any explanation to them. The ones that do have explanation is probably full of typos and misspellings, probably ones that didn't even exist when I first made it. Like I was looking at my front page and there was like 2 words were fused together at the very front page. And I'm like, that wasn't like that before. I don't know. Like, anyways, that's what a website should look like. And that's what people don't realize a website should look like. People think that websites need to be perfect and tiny. Like, this is my name. Look at my nice, perfectly produced picture. Look at how there's not a single misspelling on the 1/2 paragraph that I write. Look at how there's no links to anywhere else. It's just a web page. Dude. No. That makes you a simpleton. Make a website like mine that's gigantic and full of flaws and obviously a work in progress. That means I'm not judging myself. That means I believe in myself because I know it's going to go somewhere. That means I'm most likely going to believe in you too, because people who believe in themselves believe in other people. And people who don't believe in themselves don't believe in other people. So you just build. Just build and build and build and create and build and create. Now, I know I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because I haven't been uploading videos forever, but that's because I was like building that website. Like I built things that you have to be focused on if you're going to finish them. Okay, like I built the Exceed 4000 on Google Earth. Thank you very much. I'll make a YouTube video of it here whenever I get around to it. I'm organizing files on my computer now. Anyways, I think that's how you fix it. You just keep the lines of communication open, and you don't do cancel culture. But I'm not talking about the cancel culture that those fucking right-wing fucks are talking about. Those guys are going to be the first person to cancel you. They're hypocrites. No, I mean cancel because like, of course you would take Donald Trump the fuck off Twitter. All the destruction that fucking fuckface does. But like some regular dude who doesn't have, I called him a fuckface. That person who doesn't deserve to be a human being. Okay, we'll call him a person who doesn't deserve to be a human being. Because of all the destruction he does. But some regular person, they're not gonna like just say negative things about stuff all the time because it just makes you look like a dick. And the only way he can get away with it is because people are all tribal. So just upload videos. Just be prolific. And so that's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, if I'm telling everybody to do something, I have to walk the walk myself. So yeah, just don't. And also, when it comes along to exercise as well. Like as soon as I get my streaming computer on Sunday, I'm gonna start streaming, and I'm gonna stream myself working out. And I'm like really weak. Like I can bench press maximum 135 pounds 5 times. That's all I can do. I couldn't do it 6 times. I can bench press 135 pounds 5 times. And I can run a mile in maybe 16 minutes. My max 2K rowing time is 10:46. I don't give a fuck. I have a reason. I have my shoulda, woulda, couldas. If I had to train 10 hours a day, I would have fucking been a badass. If I had to train my ass off, I could have been a pro athlete. If everybody else was as creative as I am, I should have been a goddamn, spend my time having fun exercising. But I don't, because I'm literally the only person who does. I'm literally the only person on the entire goddamn. Oops, I said it again. I'm literally the only person on this whole planet who put all of the important books from history on one page. Like, why would you not put a history book on one page? Aren't you speed readers? Don't you like to do Control F word search? Don't you like to copy paste onto it and get your book onto the book onto your website so you can decorate how you want? I'm also the only person in the world who's ever plugged up civilization in my 160 diameter area around my house. Only person on the entire planet who Googled Earth Rome. Only person on the entire planet who Googled Earth Atlantis. Only person on the entire planet who made a speed reader friendly website. Only person on the entire planet who made a history timeline. Only person on the entire planet who Googled Earth all of the trails in the 160 diameter area of where I live. I could go on and on and on and on of stuff I can't even think off the top of my head that I've done on my website. So imagine if everybody was like me, I wouldn't have had to done all those things. I could have been be out there like a regular person, just doing book reviews and stuff and biweekly history tests. So people need to step up and they need to become proactive and upload videos because it's free. It doesn't cost anything, and don't worry about making money off of it, because if everybody's doing it, the only person who's going to make money off of it are the people who are like at the very top. But like the way that the world is now, it's all convoluted and like controlled, and the people on the top are the freaking sports car drivers and stuff. So and the rich people who like to be rich for rich. And the one thing that's super creepy for me personally is I used to get so much like hell. Can you not say hell? What's the word? I used to get so much hatred. I used to get so much hatred from people always commenting saying I'm like a spoiled brat rich kid. I'm a spoiled brat rich kid, but I don't go outside. I just work in my car 18 hours a day for the 20 years. I don't know anybody. I don't have kids. I don't, yet there's and I have zeros like subscribers or, web presence. Yet all these other people are loaded rich, McLaren, double Lamborghini, mansion, 3 million subscribers, 10-to-1 likes to dislike ratio with 50,000 comments. And I don't read here going, oh my God, what a spoiled brat rich kid. So why do I have to be the spoiled brat rich kid when all the popular YouTubers are like way more rich than I? Like if I had the money that they did, I'd be riding my bike all the time. I'd be a bike rider. So it makes me, it's just like, is there some kind of actually, like, are there rich people actually paying people, just like with the QAnon thing, paying people to troll the people they don't like and then to give false, maybe. But the way that normal people fix that is by becoming proactive, and then nobody can change it, and then nobody's going to be, people aren't going to be like conditioned to try to, tweak the world. Now, one thing that you should definitely consider is that it seems like it's always works out this way where everything looks like hunky dory, like sunshine and rainbows and stuff, and then you find out like 30 years later, like it was all convoluted, it was all rigged and it was all like inside job and all this kind of stuff, like it's hard for me to come up with examples right now, but maybe like with the stock market crash, people taking their money out because they knew, or like people made them, got a business started like on cocaine or something, or like, their boss ended up raping everybody, or there was a criminal or something like that. Well, it'll probably turn out to be like that with YouTube. Like in 50 years, somebody will do some expose or whatever, being like, you know what? We proved it. It turned out that they were giving false subscriberships to some people and then taking other subscriberships to other people and turning out the comments on these people and turning them on these and, and all that kind of stuff. And so, now I don't necessarily, honestly, I don't think it's like that, because I think that the way that people work with their minds, like we're like tribal. So we all like brainwashed by the zeitgeist, and so we all decide that we're gonna like that, But I think to a large extent, there will be some uncoverings like that, and that'll be interesting. Because so basically, the moral of the story is: don't worry about your subscribers, don't worry about how much money you're making, don't worry about the likes to dislikes, because the only thing that matters is that you're expressing yourself. Like that's what life is. If anybody asks you what the meaning of life is, the meaning of life is experimentation. Like try to create something new to advance life. But so that means every single person that comes in, you have to view that person as a valid individual, and so that whatever they say has validity to them. And if they get like negative and sick and stuff, yeah, obviously you call that, like cops bust bike thieves, but you don't just pick and choose. So yeah, don't pick and choose with yourself and be over judgmental. I think that's how that you fix it. Now, as far as the Facebook, and the country's fighting out back, because Facebook is like robbing everybody's stories. Yeah, I think that we need to figure out a way for like reporters, like legit reporters and writers, to be able to, proprietize their material so that they don't kind of fall into the background and not, you can't make money because writing stuff because people just can copy and paste it onto Facebook. But I think people are getting really good at that, with the whole copywriting and yeah. But education can be very like grassroots. Like certain people are good at certain thing, and then they would just do that YouTube video. So then you would go and watch their YouTube video, and you get the news that way. And daily news, I think, can come more from just like people taking important information from like government websites and stuff, scientific journals, and then just putting it on their website. Like whenever I get around to it, I want to have a news web page on my website where I go into the government page and I take off like the new bill from the day, and I talk about their new bill that got passed, and then the new like scientific discovery, and I'll talk about that, and then the new like maybe business invention or the new thing to hit the market, and you just talk about that, and that's news, and you keep the whole us versus them out of it, because like if you look at Fox News, like their idea of news is, you wouldn't believe what this motherfucker said. This is why we hate him even more. And it's like, okay, but what about the new law that was passed? Are you ever going to get around to that? Nope, because there's no time. They're only talking trash. So that's the kind of news I would like to do, and more people should do that. But in order for that to work, the government websites have to be better, and those are crap. I think my website is much better than the government website when it comes to the laws. I have the entire law code on my website, not the entirety of the entire law code, but I have like the first like levels of the entire law code on my website. And whenever I get around to it, I'm going to put the entire law code on my website because I wanted to make it all on one page. I think you can there's 54 different sections of the law. So I broke it into 54 pages, and I think my computer's strong enough to be able to literally put the entire law code into just 54 pages. And so that you could just right click, because people are going to get better at speed reading and speed listening. You just right click, and then 12 hours go by, and you just read the entire law, and then you remember things you did that were interest to you. You don't remember things, then people become good at finding the law. So then you don't even need a lawyer. So then lawyers go away, and lawyers turn into vloggers, right? So my view is that every single job eventually evaporates and gets replaced with a website vlogger, a website YouTuber, everybody. And so you have to kill jobs in order to create the money for that, though. You have to kill the teacher jobs. You have to kill the warrior jobs, and the extraneous middlemen business jobs, like agent and, go-to guy and whisperer and all this crap, so that you can release the tax money and make the economy much more streamlined, and then just pay people the UBI, But when you do UBI, you do a UBI for doing something. You do a video, like I need to start writing rich people and be like, dude, can I get me a kick? Because like I'm going to have to get a job somewhere, and I don't know if anyone's even going to hire me. Like, can I get me a bonus, a bobo, until I get on my feet, and then we can give everybody money? Because I kind of see myself as a pioneer in all this, especially with the streaming. Because get this, here's another thing that I'm gonna do. Streaming. Everybody else streams with video games. What if you streamed all day long just talking? What you think about stuff, working out and talking, and everybody did that. Like, I wonder what Sean Hannity's doing, because he got fired from Fox News, and you go to his channel, and he's there with his shirt off, working out and talking. Of course he wouldn't do that, because he's not a legit dude. But imagine, right? So just, or maybe you could teach him, you could train him to do it, and then you just do it because you do it, and then we all do it for the same, and we don't have to have one. Because the whole thing about YouTube, only a few people can make money, and everybody else has to be the watcher. That's the same thing as schools. Like when everybody's like, oh, I was first in my class. Well, it only means anything if you have a class of 500. Because it's not impressive if you say I'm the first in my class and I'm the only person in my class. So you need the a-holes like me to sit there in the class to be like number 579th or whatever. And, and with me, people like me aren't just back of the class. We're back of the class with a goddamn vengeance. Okay? Just like the people at the front of the class are like, front of the class, I'm the boss now. Not like me, I'm like straight up kicked out. Like, forget back the class. Like, you're fucking booted. I got fucking booted because I was the best, most brilliant teacher student the school has ever seen. Just like I'm probably the most brilliant fucking YouTuber YouTube has ever seen. So what do you get from that? You get fucking kicked out, right? That's the way I see it anyway. It's like that saying from the Bible that Bob Marley likes to sing, the cornerstone was the stone that gets rejected is the cornerstone. So why don't we just start paying the cornerstones? If somebody is doing YouTube videos and making websites, pay them for it. And but pay them for the website. Don't pay them for the ads from the website, because you have to be proactive. If you have money, you be proactive. You don't just assume that regular poor people are just going to, on their own volition, go and migrate to other people's websites and read what they think about stuff. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually put some money into it and get it started. So luckily for me, I have the resources up until now to have my own time to work on the website. So that's what I think you should do. Damn, I talked for 45 minutes. But there's a lot of nuances, right? I mean, I mentioned the weed, I mentioned the social media, I mentioned the tendency to spend money on, on like warfare and brainwashing people in schools. And if you can protect people with the websites and the YouTube videos, it'll all be good. If you shut people's YouTube videos down and their websites, it's all fucked. And yeah, that's when cancel culture get get in trouble. But I'm not afraid of cancel culture. The only people who get canceled are people who are trying to start a civil war. But normal people aren't going to try to start a civil war. Only the guy who needs to, so that they can take over the country and turn it into like a dictatorship like Russia. So, anyways, I think that's how we get out of it. You have to be able to, if you're good at history, then you can take a step back and you can see something for what it is. And also, if you study history, you also know how to study. Right? Because it seems like the people don't even know how to read or study, because it should be obvious that Donald Trump is a criminal, because, I'm just laid off the top of my head. He did Trumpversity, where he robbed all those people and he didn't even show up. What about Byron whatever, where you hear his real voice where he's claiming to be somebody else? What about the 6 bankruptcies? What about the rapes? What about the nasty comments? What about all the stuff he did as a president, the 2 times getting impeached? Like, how do you see all these things coming at you over and over again, and it's just like, oh, it's the left. No, it's not the left. It's Donald Trump who's doing it. So, and like if the leftists are just as bad, like, can you name anybody who's done all those things? Like, that's obviously a bad dude. So you're like, so I guess you just love him because he's a protectionist like you, like. So, right. So if people were actual studiers and knew how to get information, then they would see that story and they'd be like, oh, right, that's an actual story that really happened. Like, he really did do that. Look at the interview of the person who he worked with who says that about him. It's common sense. So I think studying history can actually help people have common sense, and then boom, you're good to go. But it's all about history, because people hate talking about history. People don't talk about history. And whenever you hear somebody talk about history, you know that they're not going to want to say it publicly, because it's just like their own little opinion. It's like they'll start making stuff up. And then like me, I've done history videos, and people have told me that, like, how do I know? Oh yeah, my history timeline on my website. They said, how do I know that that's even history? And I said, because I got it on Wikipedia. Like, and then what are you going to say? How do you know Wikipedia is history? Because it's moderated by historians. It's like, dude, there's truth somewhere. You can't just think that everybody's a liar except for your one great Lord and God, the Donald Trump, who's the great criminal. Yeah, so I think that's how it works out. Those people are in their little hole. Get them to do a video in front of everybody, and then they're exposed. They're like, oh shit, I am kind of an idiot, huh? Right? They wake up. Like those QAnons, they suddenly woke up. It was amazing how quickly they woke up, and they're all like, oh shit. Yeah, I suddenly woke up when Biden got inaugurated. I suddenly came out of my bubble, So I think that's what'll happen. People will pop out of their bubble just as quickly as if they just start doing videos, But and not being anonymous, like people who comment happiness on my video, a lot of time they have their real photos and even a video, but all the assholes, like, no comment, no content, no picture. Like, how do you even expect to be taken seriously if you're calling me a douchebag faggot? And I'm quoting you, so it's not like I'm cussing. You're calling me all these bad things, telling me I'm a stupid person. And, like, I'm supposed to, like, everybody is supposed to think that you're the authority and you're Mr. Smarty Pants because you don't have any content and you don't even bother to put your real picture up there. Okay? It's the culture, you know. People need to, but I think it's a lot better now. Like I've been around YouTube. I was doing a bunch of videos back in 8 and 9, and back then, like there was lots of hatred just for doing videos, and now, like it just poof, it